health officials have many believing this to be an airborne virus.
Please, get me in.
Please, stay home and stay safe.
Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This week, Leo sent me Trapped In, and In is spelled with two N's in this one. And this 2024 film was directed by Leah Sturgis and stars Brian Gross, Matt Rife, and Jackie King, among others, of course. The story of this movie is about this American cycling team, and they're in Andorra, or at least I think they are in Andorra, and they are there to train for, altitude training. And so they get to this villa, and then like the very next day, there's this virus that starts killing people in the woods. And so they hear it on the television, so they go right into lockdown, and they're locking themselves down for, months at a time, seemingly at least. And yeah, they start to go stir crazy, and then the virus might not actually be a virus. And so, what will happen? Well, for that, you gotta watch the movie and find out. All right, so let's discuss this film. Well, with this one, it has only a few things going for it, I think, with the virus and how it's kind of like represented in this like mist or the smoke, and how that kind of morphs and manipulates the environment. I think what's interesting, I certainly enjoyed that part, though I do have to say that, the smoke mist virus thing is only in the movie for maybe 5 minutes out of the hour and 40 minutes that it runs. So it's not seen that often, but when you do see it, you think it's cool. And so, yeah, that certainly, is a plus. Other than that, with this movie, it's all filmed relatively well. The sound is good also, so all the ADR and whatever works as well. And so all the kind of technical stuff that goes into, making a movie is, done well enough to go into this movie to make it, look good. And with that being said, I think I can kind of transition to what doesn't work with this one. It is this, a low budget movie after all. So of course, temper your expectations. And for ultimately, a low budget movie, it's not that bad. It certainly is, a movie that they've put together. It certainly is watchable as well. But because it's so low budget, and then their kind of ideas that go into it, like they're just being locked down in this villa. And so they just have these 5 rooms to deal with, and they're eating breakfast at the table, and then they're sitting on the couch, and then they're looking outside. And so they do start to go stir crazy, and it kind of works for what it's going for. It's just not a particularly high budgeted movie that way. And with that being said, their scenes are kind of long as well. They do certainly drag them out. They have scenes that I don't particularly care for, like a guy just pacing back and forth in his room and his kind of monologue to himself. And so, yeah, certainly, it's just kind of a standard low budget movie that way. Other than that, there's a bunch of stuff that just kind of goes into this one that makes it kind of silly. Certainly the ending, I won't give it away, don't worry. The ending is super silly, where you're just like, why would anyone, write that? And then the climax seems to be kind of silly for what it actually kind of turns out to be. And you're just like, why? Why would you do it like that? And what else? They are American, cyclists, but they never have the TV on. And so they have a TV on for the first little bit to, get the information. And then it's off for the rest of the time. Why wouldn't you keep the TV on in case anything happens? And what else? They are Americans, and they go right into lockdown, if you can believe it. And they seem to be in lockdown for weeks and months, right away too. They don't even really kind of know what's going on. They don't even try to explore, anything outside. They just go into lockdown, and then all of a sudden, it's months and weeks later, and you're just like, okay, whatever. And so certainly there are some things that go into the writing that just kind of make it, I don't know, stilted the way it's kind of told to you. And what else? Yeah, just kind of things like that, really. Also, there is quite a bit of overacting in this one. Just everyone's, over the top. And what else? The smoke virus thing I thought was cool, but you really don't get a lot of scenes with it. And they could have really kind of played into that about this thing kind of hunting them from outside. But no, for the most part, they just stay inside, and they're perfectly fine inside. So that's where they're staying. And so that was just kind of a letdown as well. So certainly this is an odd one, I would say. It works for what it's trying to do, but what it's trying to do is not particularly exciting or interesting. And yeah, it's just kind of, like that of a movie. As for a recommendation, I would probably say skip this one. It's just kind of long and dull and, not really worth kind of the 5 minutes of the smoke virus that you see. So yeah, I think it's probably, skippable. And as for a rating, well, I'm going to give it the score of 3 because ultimately it was very meh. And with that being said, I think that's all I wanted to say. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.